Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough. About this situation, I realize now, if I really cared about getting the dark matter and the physics research, I could advance and get it around here and just start, basically leaving the situation here for as long as possible by alternating between retreat and maintain orbit. It's just once you get to the point of no return, I think you'd kind of be screwed. But I'm not that worried about dark matter and physics research at this point. I would much rather just get my station to a safe location. That little bit of monthly physics research you get out of this, I don't think is going to be a drop in the bucket compared to what we already get, which is about 100 times that at the highest level. Also, I realize we need 4,000 minor artifacts just to build the ships we are missing. That's not counting what it's taking to reinforce the ships that we need and all of the platforms that I'm switching over. So this is going to take a while. I got on the contact list and shopped around. The Soran were the only ones who were willing to trade artifacts that had any to spare. So everybody else is either not earning minor artifacts or spending them. So there wasn't much hope in that regard. Oh, the Latrepians had ships, and the Autocracy of Rakaron had ships over that way. I guess they were harassing the Rishethian state, and I didn't notice it. And I can start the Overlord garrisons on all of my new vassals. Before the year is out, the Great Human Empire and the Human Combine will be stabilized as loyal again. Right now, they are suffering stability issues in Massam and Vuzabaru. The Overlord garrison should fix that by reducing crime. Well, also it drops happiness, which would actually have a negative effect on stability. The crime is having a major effect. That's one of their issues. They have a lot of unemployment. They have decided to go back to using the robots. They have a lot of unemployment because everybody is a slave. I just noticed. They don't have any rulers. They need to change their policies to make somebody a ruler. So yeah, they're going to have severe issues because at best they have domestic servants or indentured servants. Yeah, they've got way too much unemployment. They're going to be suffering badly. Now on the way back, I did notice there's a pirate base here. I'm diverting Scylla to deal with that. We're also going to be passing through some space amoeba. I noticed more space amoeba over here. I'm sending the Pegasus reinforcements to deal with it. So it seems like my options are either to revamp my ships to use less minor artifacts, or take a long time to pump these out. So maybe the next time I upgrade the ships, I might take them away from them. I don't know. I do know I want Dragon to use these, and I think Medusa as well. But we'll just have to see how it goes. I won't get the minor artifacts I have spent reimbursed, so I might as well just stick with it at this point. Miravandian Coalition entered a migration treaty with the nation of Selnok Prime. Soran combined clans. I gave them 3,000 food and about 250 of every one of the exotic resources for 300 minor artifacts, which are probably already spent. Yep, we're down to 0 again on some of my existing upgrades. When approaching a black hole, space-time bends in unpredictable ways, and Larkin's Singularity Station's instruments are struggling to keep up. After a careful recalibration of the onboard instruments, the station was shown to be much closer to the black hole than we previously thought. So we actually just lost 2 months of progress because it bumped us back by 10 and we just advanced by 5. Yeah, this is going to be difficult to get away from that gravity well.
Engaging enemy station.
Tendrazun have a branch office on Hawksworth. Federician League are in a non-aggression pact with the Star Realms of Shar. And Scylla is taking on an asteroid outpost. They destroyed the pirate station, got us a little bit of energy credits and minerals. Pegasus reinforcements are about to engage the
Fleet action underway.
Space Amoeba. We took a little bit of armor damage, so it's time to send them home. Star Realm of Shar is guaranteeing the independence of the Federician League, and I did get a pop-up for the construction of an orbital ring in the Illithium system. That is nice. That would be the one over Hawksworth. It is one of my generator districts. Yeah, they are at their cap, so I was going to start adding habitation modules here so that we can build more energy credit districts. Now, what was the other planets in this system? Of course, Finn Castle is the one I'm interested in. No, that's not one I was going to do this to. I need to find one of my agriculture centers. One of my major bread baskets. Because I want to build the orbital ring building that will boost the food output. Truett? I guess it's Truett or Dawnlight. Bastion has a little bit of food. But yeah, Truett and Dawnlight. St. Natchbull is another one that is a food center. And because it has those, yeah, St. Natchbull would be a good one. Because it's actually still in this sector. So we can get in orbit of St. Natchbull. And build a orbital ring there eventually. Right now, that would set me back another 50 influence. I'm trying to build up to 250 minimum.
Tracking spaceborne life form.
Where? Is it because Chimera has finally gotten in range of the Space Amoeba? Chimera is pretty beat up. That may suck. We have a new proposal. Reverence for life. The horror of war on the scale of interstellar empires is a terrible thing. We should do what we can to limit its excessive active combatants. Its excesses to active combatants. Purging and the use of world crackers is banned. Nope, we oppose that. This is the Kel Nudaran Serene Administration. It also would drop my diplomatic weight from fleet power. No, I'm not interested in reverence for life. Looks like some of the ones I am not interested in are actually gaining weight. Currently, borderless authority is going to pass.
All sword ground elements are dropping on target.
We have successfully invaded Raprix, so we can achieve our war goals. They are now a subject under the Commonwealth of Man. Now they have very negative loyalty. No holdings. I can't establish holdings here for 5 years. I was supposed to get an automatic holding, but I guess I'm going to have to wait until that resolution passes. I could have sworn being a vassal automatically gave us a holding. Oh, they're a protectorate automatically, not a vassal. There's the problem. It's because of how weak they are. Well, we are going to land back on their planet. And we are going to send the Fortress Legionnaires home. Etnoran Reapers are insulting me. I can taste your stink, vile, ugly bag of mostly water. Every time I do, I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. Alright there, Agent Smith. We are now connected with the human combine. Yeah, we finally got the hyper relay built there. We just have 4 more hyper relays to build and we're done with them. I was thinking about the fact that we can no longer proclaim superiority, and it got me wondering, what exactly makes us superior to the other species? It's not resource gathering. There are several species that are more apt for that. There are more intelligent species out there that are better at research. There are more traditional species out there that are better at unity gain, though now that we are developing that, we'll be on par with them. There are species out there that have stronger economies. There are species out there that have better tech. As a matter of fact, we're starting to embrace a lot of alien tech. That's the reason we're consuming so many minor artifacts right now, is we are using ancient alien technology. So what exactly makes us superior to them? Because they lack vision. In other words, I have a vision of being a galactic emperor, and I am proceeding along to make that happen. I have a goal, and I'm making decisions based on that goal because I have a vision of how I want the galaxy to be. They're not making very good decisions. I mean, we've seen how they defend their stations. They didn't think ahead enough to say our stations should have long-range guns on them, so we were able to beat superior militaries because of their bad decision-making. We were able to rip apart this alliance of multiple enemies or multiple nations because of their bad decision-making. And if we look at, like, even the United Nations of Earth have embraced cybernetics for the human species. And we have already seen the failings of embracing of what robots can do with what happened here on Truett with the machine uprising they have had. So we make better decisions. We're more suited for leadership. Because they're just kind of reacting pell-mell out of their baser impulses. They want to gobble up more territory, but they don't know how to maintain it. I mean, if we look at, like, the Allied Multics, they are disloyal to the Soran. Because the Soran do not know how to maintain a vassal. But all of my vassals like me. I mean, yes, we've enslaved some of their people, and we are treating them to some pretty heavy taxation, but they're still loyal because we bring stability. We bring protection. A lot of them don't even have to join in our wars, but we are going to protect them if they're attacked. So we are bringing order and stability, and all we ask in return is taxes to support our empire. But we know how to maintain the loyalty of our subjects. Well, with the exception of the Gen Lot, which we just picked up, they're not happy about being conquered, but in about 5 or so years, that will change. They won't be so upset about being our subjects anymore. The same thing had originally happened to the autocracy of Rakaron and to the United Latrepian domains, and both of them are loyal now. 100 highest rank of loyalty for the Latrepians, highest rank of loyalty for the autocracy of Rakaron. Our very first subject absolutely hated being a subject. Highest rank of loyalty with United Miravandians. As a matter of fact, the Miravandians, since we have taken over as their overlord, have actually spread over here and created rebellions within the Trinderzun and taken their own nations over here that will probably end up needing our guidance. So what makes the Commonwealth of Man superior to the other empires out there is me. The fact that it's a human-controlled empire instead of AI-controlled. Because if the Commonwealth of Man was an AI-controlled empire and I was playing any one of these others, they would be making the exact same bad decisions everybody else does. So we're not really superior to them as a species. We're superior to them because we have a leader with vision. So I think it's time to kind of move beyond the xenophobia anyway, even though that is one of our primary sources of unity through factions. We can go ahead and move beyond it at this point. Because when we become the Galactic Emperor, we are going to become fanatic authoritarians, so one of these is going to have to drop off. And I would prefer if it was xenophobe and not militarist, because militarist is still giving me benefits with the ship fire rate. Xenophobe, pop growth speed, I don't really need that so much at this point. As a matter of fact, all it's doing is neutralizing the fact I'm forcing growth. But yeah, that's not really that necessary anymore. So I'm thinking we might actually consider suppressing the faction. But that will tank faction approval. We'll just give it time and see if the militarist and these two outweigh them. It's mainly the militarist I want to be higher than the xenophobes at this point, so that when it goes to pick a faction to remove when we actually become Galactic Emperor, it doesn't get rid of our militarist faction. And we have a lot of time before we have to worry about that, because I have to become the Galactic Custodian before I can even become the Galactic Emperor. But it's something to think about, so I think we should stop promoting the xenophobe faction anyway. What else is boosting xenophobes? If we look at this, I guess it was just the only thing that was really... Oh, we do have an edict that is doing it, and that is information quarantine. Now that's governing ethics attraction. One of these was boosting the fear campaign. That is boosting xenophobe ethics attraction. So I believe we dropped the fear campaign at this point. We'll lose a 10% bonus to monthly unity. I think we can handle that. It would be about 280 we'd be losing. We'd be back down to 2,000. That would set us back. Let's see, losing about 280 would set us back about... That's a little over 10%. So it would mean this will probably add 3 months when we drop it. But let's go ahead and drop the fear campaign. We don't want people attracted to the xenophobe ethics anymore. We want the militarist and the authoritarians to take control. And what did we just have happen? Oh, we're in the same sector, but unless we decide to go over and attack, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to wait for one of my bigger fleets like Hippogriff to come in here to deal with them. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and tell Hippogriff to deal with them before they go home. Miravandian Coalition is in a migration treaty with the Genlot Conclave. The Pegasus reinforcements have been repaired. We have a new proposal. Repeal the Guardian Angels Act. Might makes right. Attempting to hide the horrors of war by placing limits on it is just lying to ourselves. We should repeal these laws and untie our hands should a true threat appear. So the Guardian Angels Act, I believe I do want repealed. Because it reduces diplomatic weight from fleet power. So we are going to support repealing that. Praku Interstellar Nation want that. Now I'd completely forgotten about the Voyager over here. We'll just have them move around and do some more exploring. Exploring areas until we finally get kicked out of different places. Genlot Conclave is in a migration treaty with the Glosswarhenians.
Ships refitted.
Several of my starbase fleets are partially refitted. They still have defense platforms that need refits. I just ran out of minor artifacts to refit them. So most of these still have platforms that are going to need upgrades. I've just got a partial refit on them. And maybe pulling the
Fleet action underway.
armor off of the arcane technology off of defense platforms would be a good idea. Because if I do choose to improve more defense platforms, I won't have the minor artifacts to do it and build my fleet up. We have engaged the space amoeba. Who's going to start doing damage first? Us, straight to hull. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Overenthusiastic researchers aboard Larkin's Singularity Station have seized control of the station and are now steering it towards the black hole. A move doubtlessly driven by insatiable scientific curiosity, an unhealthy amount of recklessness, and utter disregard for their own self-preservation. Armed personnel are currently fighting to regain control of the station. Oh my god, these bastards. Alright, get the troop transport over to Larkin's Singularity, just in case we need to invade. You frickin' bastards. We had almost one more month and we would have stabilized it. You bastards. So they've done some shield damage to us. We're already hitting them in the hull. All they did was shield damage, I believe. Yes. After a tense confrontation, the mutineers have been dealt with, and armed personnel have regained full control of Larkin's Singularity Station. 3 months, and it should be dealt with. Democratic Lyran Union was given association status with the Allied Independent Systems. It was originally part of it. It was kicked out.
Ships refitted.
Strike Force Gorgon has been fully upgraded. Now, Strike Force Gorgon is one that does not really use the arcane techs. Yeah, none of this is arcane. So we can begin reinforcing them. We have the alloys. They're at Deneb, so we want all reinforcements to be at Deneb. While it might go faster being at some of the other stations, we do not need them queued up. The frigates take, well, the corvettes are first. Corvettes take about a month. The frigates would probably be about the same. So let's get it down to where there's only 12 queued up. So these will be out in about a month, then these will be out in about a month. Actually, we only need 8 queued up. That way we're not sucking down so many alloys in case we want to start refitting somebody else or trade them for minor artifacts, for example. So we can get all of our upgrades done. We're about to have our Overlord garrisons completed on all 4 of our new ones. Who else is upgrading? Medusa is already in the process of upgrading, as is Dragon. Pegasus reinforcements and Scylla reinforcements have already upgraded. So Chimera is the only other fleet, but it takes from all the other fleets that are also upgraded already. So yeah, I don't really feel like changing the plans of the ships now. I will just push through with the need for the minor artifacts. Although I am going to have to retool some of Medusa's ships because I would rather them have the arc emitter for the Medusa's gaze. But that's something that can wait till we need yet another upgrade as well. And now, considering how precious minor artifacts are to me for adding to my ships, since all my ships use them, that's going to make me be even more careful about allowing my ships to be destroyed in combat. Larkin's Singularity Station escaped the gravitational pull of the black hole, returning to a stable orbit around the collapsed star. Though many have described the experience as utterly traumatizing, one of the researchers aboard the station was inspired by the ordeal and is now eager, almost too eager, to share their new expertise with the rest of our scientific team. Does that mean I have a new scientist? A maniacal field manipulation? Sana El Farouk. Yeah, we picked up a level 6. Of course, she's not as good as Zing here, apart from being higher level, because she is a Scalarium expert, field manipulation Scalarium investigator.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Arc emitters. Powerful weapons that launch a lightning arc of chaotic energy at targets, which in part can ignore armor and shields. I do not believe we're going to research sapient combat AI. Robots produce too many dangers, and this does say it's a dangerous technology. Let's go ahead and get the shield hardener. We may end up using it since we have so many shields. That'll be done in 8 months.
Tracking spaceborne life form.
Where? Maybe that's this scientist over here I keep forgetting. Oh, there's amoeba swarms. Oh, there's the home base of the amoeba, basically. And that is probably what I saw. Actually, let's just go there. 5 months I need to come back over here. I wonder if this... I don't know which is the home base of the crystalline entities. But this one has a sapphire, an onyx, an obsidian, and a diamond in it. Oh, there's one of my allies. The Genlot Conclave are over here. And I forgot to pause it. Oh, wait. You're back. The enigmatic cache is back in my space. Over Hawksworth. We have no research here on Hawksworth. So it's just going to be unnerving the population. Have any of them got the debuff already? No, not yet. United Nations of Earth is in a migration
New
treaty
species variant available.
with the Veteresian League. We have just completed the modifications to the human species. I went ahead and started that back in January. So now all of our humans have talented and traditional. We can remove this old version. Now let's see if that messed anything up. Nope, they were all building the new humans, I believe. I'll just double check real quick and see if any were not. I think I had them all locked on the new one, or they all got converted to the new one, yes. Chimera is now fully repaired. So we get about 100 minor artifacts a year. Actually 132 minor artifacts a year. Hierarchy of Moffith is building a science nexus. Crash and burn Sandars. Now, since we need about 4,000 to get all of our fleets built, and we get about 130 a year, that's going to take about 30 years to accumulate all of that amount. And that's not counting the refits and things. So yeah, we may have been really reaching for that. We're going to have to keep reaching out to like the Soran and others and see if anybody is accumulating a small amount, or see if there's some way we can get minor artifacts faster. I don't think there is, unless we can up how much our science stations are outputting. Because right now, for example, this one is doing 2.1. We need more boost to our science station output. Sovereignty of Tuxcali is in a migration treaty with the Federicians. Is there any minor artifacts being churned out from the Federicians? I don't see any. My influence did not climb nearly as much as I had hoped. It says we're only getting 2.41 from jobs. That's less than 0.2 extra from 4 extra Ministries of Truth. So how much are they actually providing us is the question. Let's go to our holdings and see if we can get actual numbers from these. That one says it is giving us 0.5. That one's giving us 0.71. That one's giving us 0.59. 0.59. Okay, let's see. 0.5 with 94 population and 5 stability. There's got to be a formula here. This one's got more stability, and it's giving more. This one's got more stability. It was giving a little bit more. It's got less pop, though. That one's got less stability, and it's giving more, and it had more pop. This one's not producing anything. And I know why we are not getting any propagandists. If we go to the population, they don't have anybody working the job because they still only have slaves. They need a species that is not a slave. They need humans. Yeah, this one is also not being worked. This one is not being worked. And this one is not being worked. They have unemployed workers. These empires need to increase these guys to be something. Right now they've got them as indentured servants. They should be able to work specialist jobs. Why are they not moving up to work these jobs? Probably because they lack the unity to upkeep. No, they're producing 14 unity here. They actually have a leader. They have one human. This one has no leaders, but has actually gotten its stability up. Oh, they are using the Uthabulans finally. They gave them full citizenship. But this is the one that I made Uthabulans, the empire that did it. But yeah, these guys need to modify their species controls. They need to have these aliens able to work higher jobs. Give them at least resident status or something. Because otherwise those empires are going to have severe stability issues and not be very useful to us. The Overlord propagandist actually produces only 0.15 influence apiece. We get 2 of them, so it would be 0.3 base. But they are affected by resource output for the planet they are on. So this one is getting a 10% bonus for being Empire Capital, 42.5 for Empire-wide bonuses to output, the Governor, and the high stability. So that's the reason some of these worlds we get more out of. And this one will actually get close to about 0.5 for the 2 propagandists in the Miravandians. So it does well, like when they get the one that does plus 10% the capital upgrades like we have, we'll get more influence from our subjects. So the more technologically advanced our subjects are, the more bonuses they get, the better for us. I've begun modifying the Gleer. I had 2 that were indentured servants. They're going to be shifted to be the battle thralls, and that will fix all the battle thralls we need on Procloss. And we'll be able to get rid of this old one. It's only going to take 2 months. And I was trying to queue up another hyper relay after this one and accidentally canceled this one when it had 67% progress, so now I had to start all over. Kind of sucked. And I moved one of my envoys out of the galactic community to start improving relations with the Genlot Conclave, since it's going to be at least 5 years before we can renegotiate their deal. Strike Force Hippogriff is fully repaired. I think I forgot to queue up more ships. Yeah, they've only got like 8 days. I caught them in time. Each of these takes about 55 days. So I only need about 2 queued up, like through 8. Everything else can be canceled. Yeah, because these 2 right here would be 100 days by themselves. So that should be plenty queued up of the frigates. Scylla and Hippogriff are fully repaired. And I do believe I will end up redoing the defense platforms to not use the minor artifacts, apart from the hangar bay ones. My exemplary hangars, since they are already using the driller drones, I may have them use the ancient pulse armor. I don't know. Yeah, because to upgrade them would take 6. Actually, they don't use a whole lot. Yeah. We'll get some exotic gases back. So maybe we would be refunded the minor artifacts by stripping them from designs. That's a possibility. We will see. I may end up removing them from that. Well, the hangar bays don't use... I mean, the defense platforms don't use a whole lot. So I may keep them on the defense platforms. I'm not sure. I mean, 6, I can make 2 defense platforms in 2 months. I mean, in 1 month. So yeah, I don't think the defense platforms are the problem. New species
variant available.
Alright, the Gleer are fully shifted over, so I can get rid of this template. And I need to go to Pro Class. Easiest way is to click here. Kick out those 2 so that we have all of them here. Now that did, I think, end up pulling some researchers out. I'm okay with that right now. And we have 3 spare oxen litters here. One thing I could do, it would be fairly quick. Let's see. If I were to go to the oxen litters and use the new oxen litters only on Pro Class, how long would it take?
New sit rep.
2 more months. I think we can do that. And just go ahead and get those 3 oxen litters turned into the ones that are better at energy credits and shift them to one of my worlds that needs them. It'll be done April 2nd. Alright, let's move the transport fleet back to Shaula, since I no longer need to keep an eye on the morons running Larkin Singularity Station. Speaking of keeping an eye on things, I've completely forgotten about this ship. Let's move around to there. So that system and is still called Chor's Compass. This one did not get renamed to Chor's Compass. Tindrazun put a branch office on Flaxington. That's another world where they can get their full allotment.
Skywatch has sighted a spaceborne lifeform.
Don't see one in my immediate area. Not going to worry about it. Actually, I think that was this guy over here who saw it.
New species variant available.
Alright, we've completed the modification to the oxen litters. I guess that was fine, letting it advance an extra day. Alright, there's that other wormhole I was missing, I think. I think there's only 2 pairs of wormholes here. We have a wormhole at Crackham, a wormhole at Sathama, a wormhole over here in Lither, and the last wormhole was where? Pincoya. So yeah, I think there's only 2 pairs of wormholes in this map.
Science Division reports success.
Shield hardening. With these modifications, the fields generated by our shield emitters will partially deflect attacks that would otherwise bypass the shields. There's that improved reactor booster. We can get the upgrades of both of our X-Class. I can finally get wormhole stabilization. Improved reactor booster would only take 4 months. Wormhole stabilization would take 10. I'm going to get, since we do use reactor boosters, I am going to get the improved reactor boosters. Wormhole stabilization, not critical for us. No wormholes in our immediate vicinity I care about. Are you serious? 170 years into this game, we finally get the habitable world survey. We now know without a doubt a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Unity. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. There are no more planets to survey. So we have more important matters to focus on. We will get the Unity boost. Now that should complete this, I believe. Oh, not quite, but it knocked it down by more than half of what we had left. So in 9 months, we will finally get genetic resequencing, and then we will be able to do some serious modifications to our populations. But yeah, I'm sorry, 170 years into the game, you give me the survey 8 planets. What 8 planets am I supposed to survey? What's left for me to survey? Twin deaths. Scientist Vladislav Sorokin, he was the one at Finhabanis, Joy of Joys. We will stick this level 7 that is doing nothing else in there. And Admiral Patricius Townsend. She died at the age of 95. She was in charge of Pegasus. Vladislav was 98. Pegasus is all about speed. Well, actually, weapons range would be nice, since we use short-range weapons. 20% boost to a range of 40 is only 8, though. So, I think the fire rate and sublight speed from being aggressive is better. Adaptable would also be good. And Isabella is one of our younger ones. So yeah, let's get the adaptable.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
We have selected lineages. Careful reproductive planning should be incentivized, lest we waste valuable genetic legacies. Fleet command limit. Actually, better idea. Well, no, we do need the fleet command limit. We're going to go ahead and knock out the fleet command limit, but then I was just thinking, if we get a little bit more habitability, we can drop adaptable from humans when we can get the 10% to make up for it, basically. So that they'll have the equivalent of being adaptable. Without being adaptable, we can use those points elsewhere. Now, what edicts did that give us? Oh, no, that would be policies, wouldn't it? Leader enhancement? Yes. And it automatically kicked in. So we get a higher leader cost. Well, our leaders don't cost anything, I don't think. Yeah, they have no upkeep. Cost is a different matter. So they'll cost a little bit more. Well, no, it just says the base. It's not showing a multiplier over it. We have 2 available generals. Oh, that would be the one to check the upkeep on, since they don't currently have jobs. Nope, it's not affecting them. But then again, a month hasn't kicked over. Now, we could get rid of this upkeep by assigning them to worlds. Let's assign one to Leffingwell and Bastion, I believe. Not rename, I'm trying to assign you. Now they shouldn't be costing us anything, because they have jobs. There we go. Species of human is up for the slave market. That's not one of ours.
Science Division reports success.
Improved reactor boosters. The discovery of fusion power allows for better reactor boosters to be fitted onto our ships. We can reduce our building cost or get yet further upgraded reactor boosters. I think we'll go for that. It'll only take 15 months. Only other one would be the Curator Exploration Lab, just to knock it out quick. But yeah, let's get the Advanced Reactor Booster. That's the final upgrade for the reactors. And we'll remove an option from the list. An option, and it also provides a tech that we will make use of, since we do have ships that need reactor boosters. We have finally established sleeper cells in the United Nations of Earth. Now it would take 80, that would drop us back down to 100. Let's go ahead and start stealing technology. Seems like I'm not going to get up to my 250 minimum, but I need to keep making continual progress. Matter of fact, let's check the situation
complete.
log. We have climbed above 3 of the fallen empires. And we're about to get past the next one. We're still a good chunk of points below the top 3. Here in the Senate, we are the number 2 empire, and we're not too far behind them. Deneb Starbase has finished its final habitation module. It'll be a while before we do the upgrade. Word has reached us that the Allied Multics territory has developed specifications for a Colossus-type hull configuration. A weapon platform potentially capable of complete planetary destruction. We're a bit behind there. We haven't even built our Titans yet. But yeah, we're going to need... That may be our next Ascension perk, though I'm actually thinking I should get Arcology project so I can start converting more of my worlds to Ecumenopoly so that we can start generating even more unity and research. So yeah, we're a bit behind in the Colossus project. They are now building hyper relays, I just noticed. So I no longer need to build hyper relays in their territory. They will finish them off. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the one here in Jundius that I am about to work on, so I can get the influence back. And we are going to move this constructor to Earth 2, I think. Yeah, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 worlds we could build habitats on to start getting our... Yeah, let's enter orbit here. We can start getting... It'll take us 6 months to get there anyway, but it'll be a while before I start doing it. That might be a good one to start getting our refineries set up in. The factory... what could we set up here? Research... Energy, mining, one other one at Inferno. We could actually do a food habitat there. Where are you building the hyper relay? Oh, it's not a bad location. At least you're learning. Praco Interstellar Nation was given association status by the Allied Independent Systems. See how they're doing with their planets. Horribly. Yeah, they just don't seem to understand, or maybe they're on the 10-year timer, I don't know. But they just don't seem to understand they need to take some of their species and change their rights. They could make these guys residences. They could work any job. I'm holding off on any species modification at this point because I'm about to get another trait. Oh yeah, they're harming relations while we're improving joy. They're going to be very disloyal until we get up to where we can renegotiate the agreement. We still have 3 years for that. All the others are climbing. We have a new proposal. Change council size to 2. I support that. This is by the Star Realm of Shar. The other council member, he wants to oust the hierarchy of Moffith. Where has that been bumped up to when I supported it? Pretty far down. I can't do another emergency measure anytime soon. So maybe they'll emergency measure their own after this session in a couple of years. Genetic resequencing. No longer are we limited by the basic biological structure of a species. As the sculptor shapes clay, DNA is ours to mold. Can remove beneficial and add detrimental traits with species modification. Now the next one would allow us to have the advanced traits and 2 extra modification points. Stem cell, it might be better to go through stem cells and retroviral manipulation first, so we get the reduction in species cost before we start messing around with the advanced and adding more traits. This one would also boost our monthly organic pop assembly from the clone vats. But now that we can remove beneficial traits, we've got a lot of work to do on our species. A little bit of a lockup here while it's processing. There we go. The Farine. We will start with the Farine. So we can remove beneficial. Well, you don't need talented. Let's get rid of unruly. Less housing usage. Conformist. You don't really need conformist. What you need is thrifty. So now you are great for clerks. And instead of communal, we will give you traditional as soon as I find it. Where is traditional on here? Oh, there it is. I'm blind. Okay, we found traditional. So we can give them thrifty, charismatic, and traditional. Now they are able to be optimal for entertainers and clerks. Now the Gleer are battle thralls. Let's make sure, let's go back to them, set rights, no population controls, good. Now, does migration controls enabled, does not affect their happiness, but if you enable these, it affects their happiness. Alright, so the Gleer now, we want to remove gaseous byproducts and give them, actually they would be the good ones for the crystals because they look like they're made out of crystal. But we are going to give them volatile excretions. We're going to get rid of natural sociologist and strong and conservationist and give them very strong. Now they make really good battle thralls. Eventually we will give them resilient for their defense army damage. Now for humans, adaptive is 2 points and this adds 10% to habitability. Nomadic is just reducing the resettlement cost. Resettlement cost is no longer a problem for me, I don't feel. So if we get rid of those 2, we could get intelligent, and we could give them natural sociologist, since we are doing a lot of population manipulation. Even having more society research would help with that. Now for the Ignar Vol, I'm not that worried about deviants, so they're not attracted to the governing ethics, whoop-de-doo. We could eventually just make any particular species get all of these and just be good at all of the slave type resources. But we want them to have very strong to boost their industrious a little more. So I think we are going to get rid of docile for now, so we can give them very strong. We have 1 point left. Actually, we could give them docile back if we gave them another, or here, better yet, rather than deviance, we could replace deviance with repugnant. Less amenities from jobs. We're not going to have them doing amenity jobs. And we could give them docile back. For the Mirovandia, we'll get rid of resilient. Now we can give them very strong to help with their agrarian. And instead of communal, we could actually get rid of quarrelsome, though it doesn't matter. They aren't in unity producing jobs. We could give them phototropic. We have a lot more money income than we have food. So this will cut down on our food consumption with them. For the Oxenlitter Battle Thrall, or Chattel Slaves, we can get rid of enduring. They don't create leaders. They are ingenious and very strong. That's pretty much all we really need for them. But we did want to give them inorganic breath, so we need 2 more points. We could give them wasteful. We need a 2-pointer actually, so let's give them repugnant. They're not going to be working jobs that provide amenities, so we can give them the inorganic breath, so they can start producing exotic gases for us. Though I'm not sure that somebody who produces gases is a good choice to be working with electricity. You never know. Now for the Praku, one of the first things we want to do is switch them back to temperate. Alright, so they have the scintillating skin, the crystallization. We have them producing unity. And we have them as natural sociologists, which they do not need. They're going to be doing mainly metallurgist and artisan jobs, is what we want them to have. But unlike robots, we can't find one that just gives them an overall boost. I mean, very strong only affects worker pop, not specialist pop. Traditional would mean they'd be attracted to like culture workers and stuff like that. So instead of traditional, we have 2 points left. We could give them docile, so they're taking up less empire size. Yeah, we could do that. They're docile but wasteful. They use more consumer goods. Well, I don't really think they're using much in the way of consumer goods as indentured servants. Now for the Rogerians, we can get rid of industrious and give them agrarian, since they are farmers. Get rid of quick learners and nomadic. They can keep repugnant. So we have 2 more points we can give them. We're mainly only going to be using them as farmers on their home world. So it doesn't matter how quickly they breed or anything like that, or what else they do. Docile, so they take less empire size from pops, would be a good one. And that's all of our species modified. We now finally have our specialized species for the most part, and can go about changing them over. And I think the first ones to change over would probably be the humans. So if we apply this template to all humans, how long will it take? That is a high cost.
New sitrep.
2 years. I don't think we're going to spend 2 years on this just now. I think we're going to pick one of the smaller species to modify first. Like maybe the Gleer. And then potentially work our way, the Rogerians as well. The Rogerians and the Gleer would probably be the start. So we're going to let this one expire in a month. Association of United Scientists was embraced by the Mirvandia Coalition. They are now materialist. Or more materialist.
Construction complete.
Verzak Galactic Technocracy is in a research agreement with the Mirvandian Coalition. And so is the next Nexus. We have built our last habitation module here on Hawksworth Station for a bit. Alright, that project timed out, so instead, since that is going to be so expensive, and we're low on food, let's do the Rogerians first.
New sitrep.
That will take 2 months. So that'll be done May 2nd. The hierarchy of Moffith has finished construction of a massive juggernaut ship. This mobile space base packs extensive firepower and is able to build and maintain ships at the front line of battle, making it a superior threat in any combat scenario. It is truly the apex armament of space war. Yep, we're a bit behind in that too. We're still working on mega engineering, and we still got a year and a half for it. I suppose in the future I should make sure that there are some humans, or more humans, over in these empires so that they can not have these horrible... They should have had humans. Otherwise, how did I make it human? But they have no human populations. So where are their humans? And they keep growing ones that are slaves instead of freeing them so that they can work the better jobs. For some reason, the new species, even though it does not have population controls on, the Praku we have here, no population controls, I still cannot assemble them at any of my gene clinics. I do not understand why.
New species variant available.
The Rogerian are fully transferred over, so I can get rid of the old one. Now let's make sure their rights, no population controls. And the original species, we will give population controls. We can't do it for another 5 years. Now there was only one planet that had them. Let me make sure it is producing the proper one. Yes, it is, the agrarians. And we've just about got our food situation taken care of because of all of the... Well, we just transferred all of them over to be agrarian. So they've got a huge boost. And we have lots of farmers growing on our worlds that have farming districts. In July, I think I'm going to modify another species and try and get the smaller species taken care of. I don't mind delaying the fleet command limit right now. I am capped on energy credits. It's a shame I can't buy minor artifacts. I guess I could buy some rare crystals. Let's buy a second set. There we go. That gives us more cushion. Probably should have bought some food, but oh well. Now we're getting close to our cap on consumer goods. But when we get mega engineering, our resource capacity will jump.
New species variant available.
Alright, we've completed the modification of the Praku species. Now let's see if they are available again. Let's go ahead and remove the old template. Now if I look at these, still no Praku available on Unity. The only planet that has them is Proclos, and it is producing them, the newer ones. So apparently because of their crystallization, I think they're only available on the planet where they exist. That may be what's interfering with it. I could run an experiment and create a version of the Praku that does not have crystallization. And now that we have created it, let's check and see if that's available. It is. So that is what is interfering with creating them on other colonies. Because of the crystallization that adds to organic pop assembly, they are only available to be grown on worlds where they already exist. Which is unfortunate. That means I will have to manually migrate ones over, but now that we have some, and they actually, I gave them charismatic so that they would be the ones pulled to be medical workers, I think. Nope, still didn't pull them over. Let's try that again. Let's close out all of these jobs. Reopen them. Alright, now, open those medical workers and start closing out jobs. Yes, it pulled them to be the medical workers. Close out the entertainers so that they will become researchers. Why are two of you unemployed when there are researcher jobs to be had right there? Alright, now let's see if we can pull those entertainers back up here. There we go. Why did it only pull up one entertainer? This is weird. It's only shifting up one at a time as an entertainer. There, now we have 6 entertainers. Now, I put them in the archaeo-engineer jobs. I would rather have the humans there. There. Now we've got them as the medical workers. Since they have charismatic, they will be producing more amenities here. And we have one extra as a researcher. It's actually producing the same amount of research as humans, but we can move this one to another world so we can start producing them at other worlds as well. Unity does have medical worker jobs. So let's resettle that one engineer, or I mean scientist over here from Proclass as a medical worker. But this is a world where after we get this last Glear, I think it's only one more Glear. No, we need 2 Glear. Right now we have all of our human jobs full. So to speed this up, that only has about 2 years left. If we have this also produce the final Glear, it would take about 2 years. We get these 2 Glear done to replace the enforcers here, and then we can start churning out Praku to replace humans in the metallurgist and other jobs. That will free up humans to be more bureaucrats and researchers that we can shift to other areas. And I guess we can go ahead and it takes about 10 months. That will give us more human jobs here when these Glear come out. Well, there's no rush on this actually, because we aren't growing humans here right now, and I've got 2 years before I have to worry about it, and then they'll probably take about 2 years to get out. Glosswarhenian are in a research agreement with the Praku Interstellar Nation. Genlot has given association status with Allied Independent Systems. Fortress Legionnaires are sending us a military fleet, damn it. Strike Force Titan. That's not a Titan, those are Corvettes. Where are you? Let's have you go to Deneb. That works. Return home. Hey, you didn't have to jump? Where? No, you're going to have to jump. I hit the wrong button. That is so annoying. 2 years before they're back. Well, that was a fleet of 20 Corvettes. So there are 20 Corvettes I'm not going to have to reinforce. I just have to refit these. Gorgon is finally fully reinforced. Adnoran League declared war on the Adnoran Reapers. The Adnoran Intervention War. They have the Hierarchy of Moffith, the Kessin Confederacy, and the Citizens Confederation of Gavazul assisting them.
New species variant available.
We've completed the Glear species, so I can get rid of their old template. The Miravandia will be the next ones we do in January. We have advanced reactor boosters. The discovery of antimatter power allows for highly advanced reactor boosters that can greatly enhance ship reactors. We get even more code breaking just to trivialize stealing tech from people. That would take 2 years and be one of the fastest things we could do. So yeah, we'll knock out quasi-dimensional reflection. Hierarchy of Moffith is in the commercial pack with the Soren combined clans. I've begun shifting over some of the oxen litters, not all of them. Most of the ones that are battle thralls I'm not shifting yet. I'm just shifting the intermediate species I made into the new one so that I get more exotic gases more than anything else, and so I can get rid of that species. Now this planet, Pankisha, is a prime example of what makes the computer-controlled empires far inferior to a human-controlled. Now, when they were created, they did not have any locks on species. They could change their species rights, because they did. Because they made these people indentured servitude. Now, if they had followed my empire when I created it, all default slavery types for new species that enter my empire is not indentured servitude. If we go to set default rights, it is domestic servitude. So they changed the slavery type, which means they could have changed the citizenship as well, but they did not. And another thing, and this is the primary thing, what they really need are rulers. They need rulers more than anything else at this point to push up their stability. They could force growth and be growing the one species that can be freaking rulers, which is their Uthobulans that have full citizenship. And the AI is not prioritizing that. So they are suffering along with crappy stability. Same thing for these other little empires that were created. If I go to any of the other worlds that I have holdings on, especially these that have low stability, they have no citizen species. Why have they not entered into any migration treaties to try and get some? Why have they not tried buying any on the slave market? Why have they not given some of their species residence just so that they can have leaders to boost their stability? The AI doesn't plan an empire. It just reacts to certain situations, and as you can see, its reactions are not the best. Hierarchy of Moffith broke their migration with the Adnoran League. Let's actually go to some of these empires. I've already got embassies. They're not interested in migration treaties. They should be desperately interested in migration treaties to people who have their citizen species, which is humans.
New species variant available.
Alright, we have shifted that oxen litter species. Gudgan Commonwealth embraced the alliance of faith and values and became more spiritualist. So we can get rid of that intermediary oxen litter species we created. We lost contact with our operatives in the United Nations of Earth. Find them. Autocracy of Rakaron has declared Tenderzun their rival. That is not good. My vassal has declared them their rival. I am curious, can I vassalize you yet? Oh, we have a defensive pact. I can't declare war on them. Can I vassalize you yet? Yes. They have a pathetic fleet power compared to me. Now, if I go to the war, they are going to have... They have a bulwark. The Star Realm of Shar is guaranteeing their independence. They have a... And the Vassal and Bulwark of the Star Realm of Shar would join in. So we have to wait until the Star Realm of Shar is no longer guaranteeing their independence, and then we could vassalize the Veteresian League. And I do want to rip out a vassal in this area right here, their prime area, so that we have a clear path to get to the Glosterhenians. I mean, I can't rip out the vassal here, unfortunately, because of the defensive pact, unless they break the defensive pact, or I do. I have no interest in breaking the defensive pact till I have my fleets built back up. So that's going to be decades. We reestablish contact with our operatives. We should be just about done with that operation. Soren Combined Clans is in a migration treaty with the autocracy of Rakaron. Star Realm of Shar has stopped guaranteeing the independence of the Veteresian League. So now it would just be them and the Adnorum Imperium. Where are the Adnorum Imperium? That's a pretty large area, but we don't really have anybody over there. I sent him over here to investigate that anomaly because I saw it show up in the situation log. So we are actually investigating it at this point. We're shifting over the Miravandia to the new species. I think it was going to take 3 months. And we gave 5,000 consumer goods to the Human Combine for a pledge of loyalty for 30 years. I noticed also that our monthly loyalty has dropped with the autocracy of Rakaron. That is due to a drop in subject opinion because we are now considered allied to rivals, and since they have become xenophilic, they do not like us because of our xenophobia. They also are not happy we're killed to Yankee. But they'll get over it. So now that the Human Combine has that... Now see, the Pledge of Loyalty for some of these is only 1.5. But I noticed the Pledge of Loyalty for others is 2.5. And it's not just because they're a specialist empire. Because if we look at the autocracy of Rakaron, they're just a vassal that is pledging 2.5. And we're only getting 1.5 from the Citadel Research Institute. Now we do have full Overlord ethics compatibility for all of our newly spun off provinces. They also have a recently released sector bonus that is another 1.5 for a while. But hopefully their opinion of us will improve over time as the trust builds up. Tindrazun built a branch office on Dawnlight. It's another good one for them. We successfully stole research. What did we get? Improved destroyer hulls. We could also sabotage the research for another 25 influence. That would also destroy our hacker. I don't think I want to bother with that. We're just going to say that will do mission accomplished. Oh, and if you notice, my influence has actually dropped. I actually did get almost to 300. I decided to go ahead and begin on my first habitat here in the Maestro system. I'm building it over this toxic world. I probably should have built one over like the gas giant or the frozen world. But yeah, this will probably end up being a refinery, since we are getting low on our income of crystals. Of course, I could always up that by dropping some of my combat edicts that I don't need right now, but I kind of like having these running all the time now. That way I don't have to remember to activate them. Where are you going? Hey, hang on a sec. Where are you going? Building a hyper relay in Jernast. You are the autocracy of Rakaron. Why are you going through my space to get to Jernast? Where the hell is Jernast? So you're going all the way around to go here. Okay, whatever. I'm okay with that. He was right here when he was going to Jernast. And he decided to go all the way around. Hey, you got this one building one in Oblique. But yeah, they're finally finishing off the hyper relay network for me. Ruined capital. As per the CNS Voyager's crew's initial suspicions, Vish appears to be the fallen capital of the Spacefaring Society, whose former colonies are now but irradiated scrap heaps on inhospitable tomb worlds. From the data the team has gathered, the downfall of this lost civilization was almost certainly the result of interstellar warfare waged against some unknown external threat. It remains unclear whether the planet's owners repelled the invasion but succumbed to the post-war fallout of a Pyrrhic victory, or if the invaders crushed these colonies and their inhabitants before moving on. As the extreme state of ruins on the planet precludes the extraction of data from any remaining electronics, and neither the capital nor its colonies possess any survivors, it seems we may never know for certain. Well, good riddance. Chunk of society research. We're working on a species modification that's going to be done in a month anyway, so yeah, it's not going to affect that. It will affect how much time we have left on this when it comes out.
New species variant available.
Matter of fact, we completed mega engineering as well. So the Miravandia were successfully converted over. So now we can delete this template. Before I do that, let me check any that were breeding. Alright, that one got switched over. That one is switched over. And that was it. So yeah, I wanted to make sure they weren't currently breeding any that were going to be removed here. So we're going to delete this old template. Mega engineering. To complete construction projects of truly staggering scales, we must first achieve a fundamental understanding of both the engineering and resource storage requirements for such megastructures. Now we can start knocking out some of these other techs, since we're not currently at war. Flak artillery would only take 11 months. Of course, we do have some rares up here that would be nice to knock out. It'd take 4 years for advanced battleship hulls, and about the same for advanced Titan hulls. She's getting old. We may lose her, though. Let's just go ahead for now and pick flak artillery. And let us look at the ship designer. That's 300 extra points for a battleship, or 1,500 points for a Titan. She's 103. Our leaders will live to be 100. So there's a good chance she's going to die before she could complete anything. So we'll just work on the flak artillery and start knocking out some of this smaller stuff. That way we can get a few more upgrades going, for example. Now, how much stored research do we still have in society? That is enough to go several years. Yeah, because 10 months would be 18,000. 20 months would end up being 36,000. That'd be a little over 2 years. As the crew returning from the Zvan labs were decontaminated, boy, that was like decades ago, we identified an alien substance on their protective wear. Upon closer examination, it has proven to be fragments of microscopic robots turned into a fine gray dust. Among the samples, we found an intact nanite carrying instructions for attaching bolts to a structure we believe could be a gateway. This molecular construct may have been an integral part in assembling the entire L-gate network. So we would have found this like decades ago, and now we're just realizing it connects to the L gates. Admiral Darsh Prasad has developed new skills. He is a fleet logistician, reducing the upkeep of the ships. He's in charge of Chimera, which is one of my smaller fleets right now because it hasn't been upgraded. I have begun shifting over the Farine to the new species. That will take 7 months. Afterwards, that will just leave the Ichnerval and the humans. And we may miss the window of opportunity to vassalize a section of the Veteresian League, but I have myself in a bit of a snarl upgrading my ships, and I'm a bit too stubborn to give up on the minor artifact, on the archaeoengineering part of it right now. And we already have another vassal we are struggling with loyalty on. I want to get them under control before I add yet another. This borderless authority will help. We'll be able to get an overlord garrison on them when this passes. And I realize now I have a science ship that is doing nothing. After he came back to research this, I never gave him another order. Let's have you jump to Iriga and see what's in here. Jump to Iriga and survey the system. You have close borders with us. I just noticed we have Tiyanki in our space again. Let's go deal with them. Borderless authority has passed. Senate will be in recess for 2 years, after which building a better tomorrow will be in, unless somebody calls something else as an emergency measure. I do not have the influence to veto reverence for life right now. I can veto the Tiyanki Conservation Act. And I think I should before somebody calls it as an emergency measure. Especially since I've been hunting them. I got a favor with the Star Realms of Shar from that. And that should have given us a discount on most of these. Yeah, it looks like their loyalty has gone up because they no longer have loyalty based on the holdings. Let's see. Holding limit of 3 is only -2. It was -3 for the others. But now we're only spending 0.75 extra, so we got a slight discount on their loyalty. And we can begin placing an overlord garrison here. It'll take 8 months to build, after which their loyalty should go up by 2 points to be -1.2. And in 14 more months, they will lose the recently subjugated, I believe. Because I believe that only lasts 5 years, about the same time the terms negotiation is. That'll be another 1.5, which should get them positive.
New species variant available.
We finally finished modifying the Farine species, so I can get rid of the old one. For some reason I can't, because there's one left of it. On Asher. I moved him. That's what the problem was. So let's reapply the template to get that last one I relocated. It'll be done next month. Yeah, I forgot and moved them while they were in the course of a... Yeah, if any of them shift from the world, they won't be modified, which sucks if you have automatic resettlement because of it. Alright, we have an election coming up in 6 months. I will still be on the council. And Strike Force Hippogriff has engaged these They are not fighting back. It's a matter of whether or not I kill them all or some run away as to whether or not I get the pop-up. I think some ran away. Federician League recalled their embassy. Oh, we got them all, but we didn't get the pop-up for destroying their fleet. So we didn't really get much out of that because they didn't fight back. We didn't get the nice hunting bonus.
New species variant available.
All right, now we can get rid of the old Farine. We have the new and improved that gives bonus amenities and bonus trade value. We actually do have a decent trade value in this system, but that's because there are multiple planets here. My Empress is leveled
Anomaly
up.
found.
Weak signal. By chance, we stumbled upon a faint alien signal during the survey of this planet. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? I have begun modifying the human species. I figured while I still had the stored research here, would be a good time to get that knocked out fairly quickly. It's going to take 16 months, so it'll be knocked out by next July. And that should give us a good boost to research after that, since we all get intelligent and all of my researchers are pretty much human. And the Unity bonus that they are getting should also help with the politician positions and bureaucrat positions.
Science Division report success.
We have completed flak artillery. Predictive tracking algorithms and even more powerful rounds make these batteries incredibly lethal to enemy strike craft. The alloy nano plants, while we're not really hurting for alloys, that would only take about a year. The advanced cruiser hulls would take about 2. We could have the highest level Gauss cannon in about a year. Since we are going to be doing upgrades, being able to upgrade all of the weapons would be great. An abandoned life pod was detected in close orbit of Iriga 3. It is covered in scorch marks, presumably from when the pod's mothership exploded, and preliminary scans suggest it was built more than 5,000 years ago. The crew of the CNS Voyager managed to open the pod, revealing the withered remains of a reptilian alien clad in a resplendent uniform. Clutched in one of its claws was a small picture of another individual from the same race, possibly a mate or revered leader. Well, that gets us even more society research. So we will be able to do the modification of the Ichner Vol next. And then, apart from getting rid of all of the battle thrall oxen litter, we will have all of our species updated. And we're about 3.5 years from getting stem cell simulation. We are now connected with the Pan-Kisha province.
Tracking spaceborne life form.
We've chosen a new council. Sovereignty of Tuxcali is right up there with me. All of the sudden. Because they piled the envoys in here. I traded 7,500 consumer goods to the United Latrepian domains for a pledge of loyalty. I don't think their loyalty had expired yet. I just wanted to... Oh, there we go. Yeah, it says the pledge of loyalty is only 1.5. Let's look at the contacts. Why are they getting 2.5 for it? For one of them. It's odd. It hasn't expired yet, but... Oh, and I also forgot I would have had a third on each of these. So we could either do satellite campuses for more research. However, they don't have the personnel to work them, I don't think. They might, though. They do have one human over here on Belgmim. They have 4 humans over here on Bidgulp. Yeah, let's go ahead and build a satellite campus. On Bagsh, we will also build a satellite campus. Also on Pankisha, and in the human combine, even though there are no humans here that I have seen. I also spent a lot of energy credits buying other things, like the consumer goods were cheap as dirt, so I bought 5,000 of them. I believe minerals were also fairly cheap. Gave a 10,000 consumer goods for a favor to the Star Realms of Shar. I was close to capping with consumer goods. I have begun preparing sleeper cells with the allied Multics in preparation to start stealing tech or acquiring assets from them. Strike Force Titan should be back in November. Verzak Galactic Technocracy is in a migration treaty with the Miravandian Coalition. Looks like our allies over here have some pirates. We will send Strike Force Pegasus to deal with them. Well, that's only a 483. We'll send Pegasus reinforcements to deal with them. Actually, tell them to return home first. That way they will hit both of those and go back home. And let's get the leader from Strike Force Pegasus, since this is going to be sitting here idle. Give them some experience clearing out these pirates in our Vassal.
Recon pass completed.
We have fully surveyed the Iriga system. So we're going to jump to Schlein and then survey that system. Something waits in the Schlein system, a veiled passage cut from the fabric of space-time, its horizon rippling with psionic energy. Sensor data is erratic, and the crew of our science vessel reports strange disturbances, wildly visceral dreams, a persistent sense of being watched, fitful hallucinations. Despite the frustrating lack of useful telemetry, it seems clear we have stumbled upon a tunnel through the uncharted reaches. A dangerous path, yet the rewards may be great. On the tunnel's far side lies a distant corner of the galaxy. What mysteries lie beyond the veil? We have to have psionic theory to use it. Still says we're preparing to jump here. Survey the system. And then we will head... Let's see, I didn't see anybody in any of these. Let's see, when we come out of here, we would pretty much have to go that way, or... Yeah, we can go back down this way. Yeah, so after we survey that one, we will survey this one. By then, our jump drive should have reset, and we can survey that one. But of course, we're going to have to jump back out of there. Actually, we can cloak to get out of there through that system, if it is still occupied. And then we can survey these two and then head down that way. So we can actually get back to some actual exploration now that we're over here. And it has been another 5 years. And for some reason, Strike Force Titan is not actually docked. Where did you stop moving to after you jumped into the system? But it has been another 5 years. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.